This is a video for Mrs. Gus's VAT class. I'm going to walk through our new unit, which consists of making a radial design and transferring that radial design into Illustrator. So step 1 is to create this radial design in Photoshop, and then step 2 is to vectorize that design, and 3 is to add colors, and 4 is to put it all into one final document. So this is part 1 of the video where I'm going to talk about how to create this radial design. You're going to be working in Photoshop, so when you launch Photoshop, you actually are going to open a photo that you've downloaded from the internet. And the photo that I recommend you pulling off the internet is a high-res photo from pexels.com, and it's something that has good texture, pattern. It could be an animal, it could be food. Here's an example of food. Something that is got a lot of pattern and texture. So you're going to file open that photo, and when you double click it, it's going to just open straight up into Photoshop. We're going to add a new layer by hitting Control J. That's just good practice in editing photos. We're going to only edit layer 1. We're going to go to Image Adjustments, Black and White, and turn that document black and white. Feel free to slide these sliders to see if you can make it a more crisp, interesting image that has sharper contrast, darker darks, brighter brights, just something that you like. And when you are happy with that image, you can go ahead and hit OK. You can also go to Image Adjustments, Brightness, Contrast, and do that same thing in contrast, sliding to make a really sharp image. Next, we're going to crop. All of our images are going to be squares, so we can make that pattern, that abstract radial pattern. This is your crop tool. By clicking crop, it allows you to have these brackets where you can change the size of the photo, basically cutting into the photo. We're going to go up here. Mine was already set. Yours should say ratio. You're going to go up here and drop down and choose square so that your crop is locked to a square. I'm going to skip through what we did in class where we saved as 1, 2, 3, and what we're going to do is zoom in on a very tight little area that you think has good pattern, good texture, it's interesting, and it doesn't matter if you zoom in a lot. And when you've done that, you hit enter, and basically it's cut away the rest of your photo. Then what we're going to do is go back to Image Adjustments, and we're going to go to Invert or Control I. It's going to make it a really weird looking image. Feel free to go back to Adjustments, Brightness, Contrast, and change that contrast again to make it as interesting as possible. This is going to be saved, File, Save As, into your radial folder as R4. So you just change the title to R4. Whoops. Make sure you're in the right folder, right? You're in your Google, your Drive, your VAT, your radial folder. So save it as R4. I'm going to replace mine. You're not going to do that. That's just me for the demo today. So now that you have this R4, you're going to make a new file that's going to be bigger than the first one. And we're just going to make a blank piece of paper and place that R4 in. So by going to print, you get your inches set up. We're going to make this file 6 by 6 inches. We're going to lower resolution to 72 and change the title to radial. Turn off crop by clicking on the move tool so you don't accidentally crop your piece. And we've done this before. File, place, embedded. Go to your R4. We're going to shrink it down. Notice the little info box that's giving you how big this box is in inches. If our file is 6 by 6 and we have to fit 4 on this page, we're going to go less than 3.0. Let it go. Hit enter to apply the transformation. Make sure your move tool is selected. Hold down Alt, you get that double arrow, click drag, and stack directly on top. Let go, hold down Alt, click drag, stack to the right, same thing, stack on top. You've got a little extra white space, go back to that crop tool, already set to square, drag it in, and hit enter. So now we have 4 panels, we have 4 separate layers here. Activate the top right layer by clicking it. Control T to transform. Right click, and we're going to flip it horizontal, and you're going to see how this image becomes a mirror image. Hit enter. Click on the bottom right panel, Control T, right click, flip horizontal, but you also need to flip vertical because now this is mirror but this is not mirror. So right click, flip vertical. Now you've got a mirror. Hit enter, click on this guy, Control T, right click, flip horizontal, right click, flip vertical. Ooh, I messed up. So right, flip back to horizontal, hit enter, and now you have this really interesting radial image. You're going to File, Save As, and save it as a radial. Title radial should already be there. You hit save, you hit OK. That's all you really need to do in Photoshop. So now we're going to, actually I'm going to stop the video there. This is what you need to do to create a radial file in Photoshop. So that's part 1 of the assignment.